Okay guys, we're back out here. Man, I wish that light would turn on. Stop buzzing up there, let's see. There you go. That's the only lights I have on. I don't have any of these perimeter lights on. I want to do a complete masking of this from here, including this whole lower edge, and right back up. Last time I just went from here to here. I just laid it on there to see if it would fit, see how close I was. That's pretty close. That was pretty close when I did the thing. But I want to do it from end to end. I'll feel much more comfortable just doing it one more time. Then we'll work on drilling some holes. Okay guys, let's take a break. Well, let's work. No breaks. Breaks. Yeah. Okay, so this piece of tape just came off the other hood. We're at the bottom edge. Edge here. Edge here. I'm finding the centers of the hole and just poking a little hole right through it. And that's what I'm going with. Trying not to damage this hood. This hood is a mint hood. And you never know what the future's going to bring. LED hood scoop on this baby. Or a snorkel would be mint. Okay, I just transferred the marks over with a pencil. I think we're going to be good. We'll hang this thing back up and we'll drill. Okay, I don't care what the number is. I've already been made fun of that it's a Harbor Freight caliber. I'm just looking for a center line and I lock it. Okay, if that causes somebody to make fun of me, then you're clueless in life. So, that's about. Let's get it under the lip. That's good. Okay. That's why you cover your car. These covers will never see the car again. This is what I did. This one is like a 32nd taller. No big deal. Basically what I did was I measured the top of the edge to here on this. And we're all dead on. Okay. This one may be a piece of paper higher. That's it. Okay. I didn't want to go too tall. We're going to oval these probably down. And maybe a little wider. We'll see. This is where we did the work in the front. Okay. Here's the deal. I don't have the piece of trim with me. There's some screwy things going on here. Okay. The underpinnings of the hood I thought were identical. If you look at the underpinnings of this car, this hole, hopefully it's coming out, and this hole right here on a gremlin emblem on the back pinnings. See the big holes they make to put the nuts? Well, they're almost impossible for me to make. Okay, plus there's notches here everywhere one of these is, because this is on an angle and you got to get in there with the socket. Okay, so I was figuring out a way to make the notches, and then I took a measurement. And the thickness of the lip in the notch is actually a little bit wider than the whole thickness of this hood. Okay, by about 32nd or 1/16 of an inch. So technically the notches are there already. Here's the other thing that's different. There's an air gap between the first and second. Big. Got to be this much. Which I knew. When I drilled through this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, the two pieces of metal are almost touching. I think what gives the illusion that the touching is a little burr from the front piece. But when I touch them with my fingers, it feels like the thickness is the two pieces of metal till you get to the end. The way it's shaped at the end, I had to make those holes. Now I went in there with a 5/8 drill bit and made the holes around the back. Crude for now, but I will be opening those up and eating in them. See, you can still see the two things. Okay, with the Dremel. There was definitely some finish work that has to be done, but we want to get the moldings on. All the studs long enough to go through this is the question. I can't rely on the two outer ones. And those outer ones I have to make those holes neat, and I have to bring them all the way down to this lip. So I still have a little ways to go. So basically I have to go in there with the Dremel and just neaten it the best I could. You can't go in there with a unibit. The unibit, by the time I made the back hole big enough, this front hole would be a 1/2 inch. That's how big that hole is in the back. I mean, let's look at it back here. Okay, do you need it that big? Yes and no. I don't know. I found when I took this piece off, my socket was dragging right here. Could I alter a socket to put this on? Oh, absolutely. Will it happen? Sure. Okay. But like I said, you could see the differences, and you could see how far away these two are spaced. That one's closer, but it's still spaced. Same with that. Okay, so the end does get drastic, but right in here, it's got to be that much. So if it doesn't clear, we have to come up with a plan B to hold those nuts on. Plan B will definitely involve taking that hood off and probably mounting it to that jig I have that's made to move hoods all around to paint them. Remember that jig? Ruben borrowed it for a while. And probably holding the hood upside down and me working on it with a little Dremel and making circles to insert the nuts. Also with that, we're going to decide what we're going to do with that. Obviously we're not going to leave it like that. The first thing I'm going to do is draw on that and make that universal. Obviously we got to cover everything to do that. I'm trying to do this on the car because I want to make sure the molding works. That's why this drilling is happening while it's still in the car. Because if I take it off the car, drill it, how do I know if it lines up? Then I gotta put the hood back on. Then I gotta take the hood back off, put the hood back on. I don't want to take it on and off 1,000 times, because every time you take it off, you risk chipping something. And I don't give a shit if I chip the hood, but you know what you're gonna chip. I'm gonna chip the cowl, I'm gonna chip the fenders. It's exactly what's gonna happen. So even if I can't get these holes, these two end holes exact, I got to get them good enough that I can get this molding on. And then when the hood comes off, I could sit there and fine tune it with the Dremel even nicer. But I am going to probably wind up making those holes. I made them to the same exact size. I think these were 5/16. I went in there and I measured every one. That's what I made those holes to. And that's much wider than the pin. So this thing should go left to right without a problem. Should go up and down a little bit. Amazing it never rusted, huh? When I put that one on, I plan on putting butyl tape around it, which is the stuff you put windshields in and then tightening it down. So I need a water that runs over and around my two areas and won't go in here and rot the hood away. That's what disintegrates the hoods on the Gremlins. It comes in those two holes. As you can see, there's no rust under the hood like this thing was laying in a field. So we're good there. And we got to neaten up those corners, obviously, on the bottom here. How we're going to do that, I'm not 100% sure. We'll worry about that as I work on it. Am I going to spend a ridiculous amount of time on it? No. Am I going to make it pleasing to the eye? Yeah. Factory looking. Sounds like a good place for seam sealer to me. But we'll see. We still got to neaten it up. Like I said, I want to find this out before I start to bondo this thing up. So that's phase 2. That's tomorrow. I'm going to look in my storage unit. If I can't find that other chrome molding in my storage unit, I'm going to cover the other one with tape and use it. And I haven't dropped this other one yet, but I'll drop that one within a minute. I know it. And me getting another one of those like that is going to be impossible. So, if the hood could have been, if the molding could have been just mounted somewhere, you could have used barrel clips. But you need the movement to move this thing around, without a doubt. And I need to be able to tighten these nuts and pull it tight to the hood, without a doubt. Or else it's going to have a conforming problem. And we want it to conform the best it can. And like I said, if it's off a little, it's off a little. But it should be good. It should be good. The cut in the hood on the edge here lands under the molding. You just see the underpinnings where it's rolled. So that's good. When you look up from the back corner, that's what you'll see. You'll see the underpinnings rolled right. I mean, people aren't going to be looking at this saying, oh, I wonder how he did this. Nobody knows. Except the AMC people that are watching this. Average guy ain't going to know. And like I said, we're going to work on that. I don't want to make that a massive, hairy project. I already said that to Junior. We'll come up with some kind of solution. I said I can't leave it like that, but we'll come up with something. But I don't want to make that into a month's worth of welding and grinding and welding and grinding. So let's get some kind of template. Let's draw something out. Let's trim that thing neat so it doesn't look hacked. And we'll work on it from there. That's all I could say about that. And maybe we'll tack a little piece in there and just go with some short strand fiberglass. You know what I mean? And we'll make sure it doesn't stick to the upper piece, and we'll call it good. So tomorrow's concern is going to be, does this molding fit? Meaning bolt on. Like I said, if we have a little bit of a gap here, no finished body work has been done here. The line drawn here, this line's going to disappear as it gets under the molding. You're going to see a line come up to the molding is my goal. Okay, and it does taper in, just so you know. That's why we filed this one when we got here. It's all low. It appears ugly, but this is all low, so I'm not worried about it. So as long as I had my line up to it. I had forgot that I put this piece lower because I was playing around and I had this right and I welded it. That's what happens. That's the way my brain operates. I go into mode. Oh, this is complete. Oh yeah, I had the other one set up, and no, I didn't. So tomorrow I should have the hood adjuster thingies. That's not gonna be a problem to fill. And that's it. They do make a piece of padding that goes under this hood. I would have to cut out for the triangle in it. So, but that would only come out to the outer lip right here. You'd cut it right here and bring it around. But the way this is notched and humped, I think it would look like shit once you cut the hole in it. If you didn't cut the hole, you wouldn't notice this notch here. Why this is notched, don't know, but I'll guarantee it has something to do with the 6-cylinder air cleaner and acceleration. It's probably hitting the hood.